Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. So by the time of this recording, Crossover Breakers is going to be legal on OTS stores, and the very next day is going to be legal worldwide. And I kind of just wanted to showcase you like another duel involving like the Maliss deck, because so far at least from this channel, what you've been seeing is a lot of theory, but not enough practice of how Maliss performs against the older decks. What I have here is a match against Dernier Match. If you don't know who that person is, he is the last remote YCS champion, as well as 3-time semi-finalist, all with that same deck. And you'll see the deck right in a moment. So I feel like this is a perfect example of a game that I can showcase you, like showing the Maliss strategy. Without further ado, let's begin. So yeah, the deck he's piloting is Tenpai Dragons. I think Dernier Match is arguably like the best Tenpai player that we have. And I know that's not much to say because Tenpai is a deck that is a lot of RNG compared to like the other strategies we have in the game. But trust me when I say Dernier Match knows what he's doing when he plays like this deck. Another thing about Dernier Match is he has practiced all the crossover decks, and he has been #1 on the dueling book ladder for multiple seasons. So this is not a slouch. But yeah, they struck up Perulia, and we go first. So we have two options here. Option number one is going Gold Sarcophagus and hold the Maliss in Underground for if we ever go to Red Ramson, or we just use the Underground straight up. The only issue with the Underground play is that this does play into Dominus Impulse, while the Gold Sarcophagus does not. But despite that, we went through the Underground play first. We use Underground to manage the Dormouse. Dormouse gets summoned. We set one card. We should have done this before the summon of the Dormouse, but I digress. Now we're going to do the Dormouse effect. They chain Imperm. We do have the TP-07, but we just let it go through. And the main reason we let it go through is because we still have Gold Sarcophagus. And we kind of want to hold this MTP-07 as interruption if it's possible. So that being said, we do Gold Sarc. Gold Sarc goes for Cheshire Cat. We do the Cheshire Cat effect. We just summon it. Now we activate Branded Regain, because that way the Cheshire Cat becomes a +2 if it resolves. With that notion, they will Ash Blossom, because they can already decipher that the last card in our hand is a Maliss card for Cheshire Cat. Okay, so now we're going to link summon these two to Splash Mage. It has to be Splash Mage, it cannot be Lizard Dose because we already used both like Maliss monsters. So we use Splash Mage to reborn the Dormouse. We're going to link these two away into Whitebinder. Now with the Whitebinder's effect, we banish both Maliss and Graveyard. We're doing this so we can banish, we can return with Branded Regain, but at the same time, we also keep a Maliss name in our graveyard, in our banish, in order if we ever summon Hearts of Cryptor, which will turn Hearts of Cryptor into an interruption. So we do Branded Regain, we return and draw, we draw into an Imperm, that's really good. Now we're going to do Whitebinder, and Whitebinder is going to set us TB11. We're going to set the Imperm and pass. This is another misplay. We should have TB11 the Whitebinder to summon the rabbit for two reasons. Reason number one, it makes it so Whitebinder can reborn herself and we draw another card. So that potential card that we could have drawn could have been another hand trap, another interruption, like another engine piece, another extender. But more importantly, we could turn the white binder and the white rabbit into Firewall Dragon. And we could later with the rabbit just set GWC, and that could turn into another interruption alongside the binder and imperm and TPO7 interruption. Sadly, we did not do that, so we pass turn. They drop Hydra. They summon Hydra. We immediately imperm. We pretty much have to put him on a position that he better have the extenders. We do have one more interruption, so if they did not open Chandra and Kaimen both specifically, we can pretty much just hold their turn. So imperm resolves. They Chandra. We do 07 for banishing the Chandra. We add the Cheshire Cat. And now they enter battle phase, which means they do have Sangen Kaimen, and that's the end of the duel. Unfortunate. This is a very tough call. There's no real way to decipher whether or not he had Kaimen in hand. I cannot think of any other card he could have had that would have let him OTK through the interruptions that we had. But sadly, that is the case. And when it comes to Tenpai Dragons, there's no right or wrong way of using your interruptions on them in the main phase, because you don't know what they want to do. Like, they could Black Rose Dragon and clean the board before the Kaimen play. They could summon Super Dragon before entering the battle phase. Like, there's a lot of things that they could have done. Another misplay is we technically should have activated the TB11, but I already mentioned that previously. So now we go to the next game. In this one, we let them go first. The main reason we're letting them go first is because I don't think for a fact that Daniel Mash is going to be siding for going first. I think the Maliss deck is very, very hard to play against if you let them go first and you don't play the right cards for it. So he will be well more equipped for our deck if they go second than if they go first. And if they do have lockdown cards like Heat Wave and stuff, well, you know, it's still a 50-50, so there's no real way of indicating whether or not they're going to make the right prediction. That being said, he terraformings for Sangen Summoning to Hydra to Kaimen. They do Sangen Summoning. They discard the Lightning Storm, which is one of the reasons we let them go first. Now we don't have to worry about that card anymore. They special Garoku. They're going to be Bided. Bided effect. Yeah. They trigger the Garoku. We let the Garoku go through. We're pretty much gonna hold this Ash Blossom for either Heretic Seal or another powerful card, like for example Prosperity. They summon Fadra effect, Fadra through Garoku, and now they make Heretic Seal, which, yeah, is their play. They do Prosperity. Now, we're going to do the same thing they did last game, and we're going to use the Ash Blossom, because we already know he has Sangen Kaimen. The only card that we don't know he has is Infinite Impermanence. So, we pretty much have to play around it, like knowing that we know everything else that he has, and we have the Impermanence to just stop the Heretic Seal from bouncing our cards anyway. So, yeah. So, they set to a pass. We draw it to Dormouse. We chuck the Imperm immediately. We go to main phase. We set a bluff, and now we summon White Rabbit. Basically, we put them in the position where he has to use, like, if he wants to use Imperm, he has to think about whether or not we're bluffing the card. Because if he flips the Imperm and we do actually have a Malice Trap, it's checkmate. Like, we already know everything else that he has, and we can just keep playing our game swiftly without any interruptions. Then when Match thinks, he lets the rabbit go through. We set the TB11, and so now we here make a very hasty play. If you look at his board, he has 5 cards in hand. Like, I have 5 cards on board. That being said, we're going to banish the White Rabbit, and we're going to summon Hearts of Cryptor. So the main reason we're doing this is because this Heart of Cryptor cannot use its effect, and it cannot attack. However, it is a Link 3 monster, and that's going to be very, very relevant because we're going to summon the Rabbit, we're going to grab Rabbit and Cryptor, and before that, we're going to turn the Rabbit into Decoder, and now we're going to do access code, and then Decoder chaining 1, access code chaining 2. So the reason we go access code here is because now during your match is forced to use his set card. This set card that he has that we don't know about, he has to use it right now, otherwise he will lose out to the access code, like banishing. And not only that, we have 2 bodies that we can turn into SP Little Knight, and we can just pick apart the rest of his board that way. So he's thinking, he uses Imperm. Yep. Now we use Silent Mining, we discard the Dormouse, and we're going to grab EMP Meow Mine. We're going to special the Meow Mine, and now he's going to do another play. And this is something to take note if you're going to play Tenpai Dragons. I think Tenpai Dragons are well positioned into the crossover breakers format because against Ryziel, the boards that Ryziel make are not very strong against the board breakers that Tenpai Dragons typically play. And adding to that, against Maliss, they can do this. And then you'll see the play that I'm talking about. So they summon Hydra, and then Heretic Seal and Hydra do a chain link. They grab Second Timing, and now they summon Quakimeru Drago. By the way, if you're wondering why did they tribute both monsters at the same time, it's to chain block and avoid Ash Blossom on the Heretic Seal. Like I tell you, Delirash is very, very astute when it comes to his deck. He wanted to prioritize the Quakimeru summon before the Hydra adding. So now that the Quakimeru Drago is there, we have to find a way to play around it. So we do have the out. Can you guess what the out is? I'll let you think about it for a couple of seconds. So we're going to link away Meow Mine and the access code into Splash Mage. There are no targets in the graveyard for Splash Mage's effect, so Splash Mage is not going to be summoned. However, we're going to grab the Splash Mage and the Link Decoder and summon Lizardos. And now, because a Link 2 monster was sent to the graveyard, we can activate the Meow Mine, and Meow Mine can bounce the Quakimeru Drago. And now we know that the last card is Sunken Kaiman, so this is already game. We're going to do Lizardos effect, we're going to banish the Dormouse we haven't banished yet. We're going to target the Hydra, make an 800 attack. The Dormouse is going to get summoned. We're going to do Dormouse effect, we're going to banish the Cheshire Cat. We're going to use Cheshire Cat's effect to resummon. We're going to link those two into Red Ramson, and that's going to be game. Yep, GG. So now we're going to be at 3. During your match chooses to go first. And I don't fault him for that. Like, the Maliss deck is just extremely powerful if they go first, and it's very easy to interrupt his deck. So, we did side Dominus Impulse specifically for Tenpai. I really don't like Dominus Full Impulse into the crossover breakers format. However, against Tenpai Dragons specifically, you kind of need this card. So they activate Heat Wave, and they're going to set Garoku. They're going to set Solemn Judgment and pass. We draw into Meowmine. So we're just gonna pass turn. There's no point in setting any of our cards. We don't want to get blown up by Lightning Storm or Duster. So we just have three unknown interruptions that he has to play around. So he normals Garoku, he uses Garoku effect, and that summons the Chandra. We could have used Dominus Impulse on it, but I'd rather keep the Impulse for something else. He flips Garoku. He tries to declare battle phase. We're going to imperm the Chandra immediately, still in the main phase. So the reason we're doing this in the main phase specifically is because if he has Sangen Kaimen, he's forced to use it like now, or he's forced to make Biden, because that way he has no way to dodge our second imperm if he enters the battle phase. He flips Solemn Judgment as a response, and that already tells us that he does not have Sangen Kaimen in hand, otherwise he would have held it. So we shotgun the second imperm immediately on the Chandra, and now we're putting him on Summon Biden. Otherwise, he cannot OT Chaos this turn. And that's exactly what he does. He summons Biden. We already know he does not have Sangen Kaimen. He would have held the Solemn Judgment if that was the case. They do Biden, we do Impulse, and the Impulse is going to destroy the Biden, and that's going to be game. So yeah, this is the match. I hope you found this informative to your liking and understanding. I do think Tenpai Dragons is a very favorable deck into crossover breakers format. I don't know so much about the other decks. I don't think Snake Eyes will be able to keep up, especially since Ryzeal is pretty much a hand trap deck. As far as like other strategies like Jubel, they will have a hard time against Maliss, especially since cards like White Binder and Shifter are just going to detonate it. But yeah, that's it from me. Welcome to Crossover Breakers format. Keep practicing and keep dueling.